Gonna try, gonna try, gonna try. Work till I die, till I die, till I die. I'm gonna fail and get up, cause I'm not giving up on my dream.
Hi my lovely Frosty Fam, it's me, Karen Frost, here at Nail Decadence with another video for you. Welcome to my channel, welcome one and all. So I'm just going to show you what I shall be using in this video. I'm using SBD London products and I'm using the Builder Gel in a bottle. I had a subscriber, one of my lovely Frosty Fam, Cheryl, she had some questions about how to make a short set of nails not look bulky. So I tried to explain it in words and then I thought, you know what, let me just make a video. So this is for you, Cheryl, and for whoever else wanted to know how to get a short set of nails to not look bulky. And I'm going to show you how. And I did ask Cheryl whether she wanted me to use polygel, acrylic or builder gel, and she said that she predominantly uses gel, so that's why I'm using the builder gel in a bottle, because it's gel, of course. So I'm starting at the beginning with this one. So we're going to prep the nails. So I'm pretending this is a person that's come in with their natural nails. Yeah, we're pretending these aren't tips, we're pretending they're natural nails, and you'll see me faff a lot because when you're filing tips you get a lot of frills underneath the nail and that really annoys me. So I do, after I've filed the nail, I do faff about a bit trying to get the frills of plastic from underneath the nail. Hate that, I always get that out, it annoys me. Anyway, so we're pretending she's just come in with normal nails and we're going to just shape them up. I've asked my client what she would like, and Handolly has said she wants Squoval, so that's that's the shape we're going for. We're doing a Squoval shape. So when you're doing that kind of shape, you're rounding off the corners, so you actually have to tilt your file underneath the free edge, and that's how you get the rounded corners. It's a neat little trick that you can do. Angling your file makes a huge difference underneath the free edge when you're shaping the free edge depending on what shape you're going for. So there are different techniques to use, but when you're doing a Squoval you just angle the file up slightly and it will round off those corners for you. So then I showed you how to prep the natural nail with the hand file, and then I'm switching to my e-file just to make my life easier and give my hands a break. So I will use my sanding band on a very, very low speed, and we are literally just removing the shine from the nail. That's all we're doing. We're not deeply etching, we're not filing down the nail, just removing the natural shine, and that will enable the product to stick. No need to really deeply etch or anything like that. Just remove the natural shine and that's enough. And a sanding band is more than enough to do that, a fine one. You could even use a medium, but I'd say with a medium be really, really careful because that can eat into the nail quite a lot. Nails are, they're not the thickest thing in the world, and you don't want to be removing loads and loads of layers. So just remove the natural shine and don't go any deeper. Then I will just have a look and make sure all the shaping is good and remove any further frills from underneath the free edge. As you can see, I'm faffing around getting those frills off because they're annoying me and they don't want to get off. Brush away the dust, then use a lint-free wipe with some alcohol and cleanse that nail plate. Make sure it's nice and clean, ready for the base coat. So now I'll apply a thin layer of the rubber base, and as you can see, I kind of scrub my brush up and down, and that really gets the product into those little grooves that we've made with the sanding band. So you sort of scrub it in and it just helps it to grip on to the nail better. So a thin layer of that. You don't need it to be massively thick, just a decent coating so that you've got nice coverage over the nail. It gives it that little bit of protection, but it's also helping with your adhesion of the product that you're going to place on top of it. I'll just scrub that in, last finger, try not to flood, and you can see I've got how much I've got on my brush. I don't have a lot. Try not to flood the sidewalls and the cuticle area. You don't need loads on your brush. You saw I wiped most of that off my brush. You could see what I had, and there wasn't a lot on the brush. And now I can apply my builder gel. So because it's builder in the bottle, I'm using the brush that goes with the bottle, of course, and I'm going to apply that. I'm going to make sure it's getting sidewall to sidewall, but not flooding that area and not flooding the cuticle area. We just want it to reach as far as close as it can to the cuticle area and the sidewalls without touching. And if it does, get a brush and get that off the skin immediately. So we don't need a thick layer. These are not overly long. These are very short nails. So you actually don't need a lot of product. And you'll see how I'm working that product. And I'm making it, flowing it up the center last, so that I've got more product up the center of the nail. And I'll flash cure that in place so that it doesn't go anywhere. And then I will add a second layer. I'm not adding huge amounts of gel. There's no need. With this type of short nail, you do not have to have a massively huge apex on them. And I think that's how your nails are looking bulky. You've got too much on the sidewalls and too much on the apex, which is making the nails look really fat. So if you see the way I'm doing it, and I will show you from the side as well once I've done it. There we go. I flash cured that in place, and I'm going to show you from the side. There is a small apex there, but it's not high. If you see it compared to the middle finger, it's not a lot. And I'll show you from the free edge. The free edge is no thicker than a credit card. It doesn't need to be any thicker than that on the free edge. And like I said, with this length, you don't need an apex that is massive. You just need enough gel to be strong enough to support the nail, but there doesn't need to be a huge apex on this length, not at all. So I'll do the same on the middle finger. I'll apply some of the gel first, and then I will use the brush to get the gel, tease it around, and I'm keeping contact with it and getting it where I need it to go. Flash cure it in place once I've got good coverage, and then I will add a second layer. It's better to do it in layers than to do it all in one go. If you do it all in one go, you have the potential of a heat spike, which you really don't want to cause. So do make sure that your layers are thin, and you're doing it in layers, not one big blob that could potentially heat up and will actually burn. It hurts. You don't want to do that. Same again on the ring finger. I'll get some of that gel on the nail first, and then I'll get a blob, because that's the technical term. Got some on the skin there. Get it off with some rubbing alcohol and a little brush, and then I will get that little blob that I was talking about, and I will bounce it up towards the cuticle area, get that nice and neat, and then I will tease the product where I want it to go and fill out the rest of the nail. Flash cure that in place because I don't want that to move anywhere, and then I can add my second layer. Again, bounce it up by that cuticle area. It doesn't need to be thick by that cuticle area. I'm pointing the fingers down so that the gel will flow away from the cuticle area, and that it won't flood into these sidewalls. But I'm faffing a bit with this one, so it's going to slide into the sidewall, so I'm going to have to use my brush. There we go. Bit of rubbing alcohol, get that out, and then flash cure it in place quickly after I've turned it over to help gravity pull the gel away from those sidewalls for me. So just turn it over, get that away, and then I can flash cure it in place. Same again on the little finger, although you won't see the second layer because my camera decided to stop recording and didn't record the second layer, but it's the same as the other three fingers. First layer on, well, apply the gel on the nail first, then get a bead of the gel, bounce that up by the cuticle area, go from side to side, tease that gel where I want it to go. Then I can flash cure it, and then I'll do the second layer, and then once that's done I will fully cure all the nails for 60 seconds. And now it's the filing time. Are you a frosty filing freak? So for my frosty filing freaks, here is the filing. Now gel is self-leveling, so there's not a huge amount of filing to do, so I'm going to use a 240 grit. This is the same grit that I used to shape the free edge and etch the index finger. So 240 grit is fine for this because there's not a huge amount to be done. As you can see, just tidy up those sidewalls, bring them in if they've lost their shape a little bit. Keep that the nail file nice and straight up those sides. Sort out that free edge, make sure it's nice and neat. Squoval it off. You can see the angle I held my nail file there to round off those corners. This now was a little bit messy because I did flood the sidewalls a little bit, so a bit more filing to do on this one, but still it's doable with the 240 grit. There we go. Sort out that free edge, squoval it off. Just bring in those sides, make sure it's not lost its shape totally. That also helps them not to look bulky too. If you just taper them in ever so slightly, they won't look bulky. Same again on the little finger, sidewall, free edge. That felt a bit tacky, so I'm just going to use a bit more rubbing alcohol and remove the tacky layer that was still there a little bit. Although I did remove it first of all, of course, but before you start filing. Always remove it before you start filing, otherwise you'll gum up your file. And now I'm switched to a buffing file because there's not a huge amount to do. So I'm literally just going to buff those nails rather than using a hand file that's rigid, just because there's not much shaping to be done. They're short, and gel is wonderful at creating a shape that doesn't need a lot of filing. So yeah, just use the buffing block. This now had a bit too much. This was the one that I sort of flooded the sidewalls a little bit, so it needed a little bit more work. It needed a little bit tapering in, so I'll do that with the normal hand file. This was just a 180. With gel you really don't need harsh files, it's so much softer than acrylic. And then I can continue on with my buffing file, go around that cuticle area and the body of the nail and make sure it's all nice and neat. Same again on the middle finger, up the side, round the cuticle, down the other side, and then down the body from sidewall to sidewall, working my way across that nail, up one side, around the cuticle area, down the other side. Get a nice little routine going so that your nails are all looking similar. This nail was a little bit higher than the others when I looked at it compared to the others, so again just used the normal hand file to just bring that down just a little bit. You saw I didn't file it a lot, it didn't need a lot, and now I'm looking at them all together and making sure, and I'm thinking this nail still looks a little bit thicker than the others. I want to even it out. I do want the set to look uniform, so that's why I stop and look at all of the nails together. That's really important. If you want a uniform set and you want all of your nails to look really similar, you do have to stop and look at all of the nails together, not just concentrate on that individual nail that you are working on. So do stop and look often. It's definitely key to getting a nice uniform set. So then I'll buff over this one. Got an air bubble there, that was really annoying me, but I'm going to leave it. It's not going to kill anyone. Remove the dust, give them a quick look over, make sure they're all even, and then we can show you side profile wise. There we go. So you can see they've all got a similar apex to them. They're all a similar thickness. They're not too thick. They're not too thin. This is the kind of thickness you're going for with a short set. You don't need them to be any thicker than this. I promise you, you really don't. They have a small apex on them, not huge at all. just enough to give it the strength it needs. There we go. I'm hoping this helps you, Cheryl. I really hope it does. It was so hard to tell you in words what I meant, so hopefully visually and with me explaining it as I'm doing it, it will help you to conquer this short nails. Short nails are actually harder than long nails to get them not to look bulky, believe it or not. They're actually more difficult because you're using less product and it's hard to know how much is enough and how much is not enough. So yeah, anywho, so I've removed the dust with a lint-free wipe and some more rubbing alcohol, and now I'm going to use this topper, which is gorgeous. It's really glittery. I'm sorry about the blurry camera. It will go into focus in a moment. Just give it a sec. It will refocus. There we go. I just thought I'll jazz these up a little bit because they looked a bit plain. So I decided when I was thinking of what to do with this set, I picked out this topper because I thought it would look really nice over this colour, and it actually really does look really pretty over this colour. This peachy colour is really pretty. And then yeah, I chose a foil as well. I thought, you know what, we'll give it a little accent nail, why not? But this topper is so pretty. It's one of those sort of colour shifting, glittery, just luscious, iridescent, just lovely. And it looks different over different colours. If you put that over like a black or a dark colour, it gives it a different look altogether. Really love this topper, so pretty. Anyway, so get that on, thin layer of that, doesn't need to be thick, just bit of sparkle. Cure that for 60 seconds, and now I will use my foil gel. I love this stuff. So a layer of foil gel on that ring finger, which is where I'm going to be doing for my accent nail. Get a nice even coat of that on. Not too thick, not too thin. You don't want to bulk out the nail. Then we'll cure that for 60 seconds, and as soon as it comes out of the lamp, we'll grab the foil, choose which part I want to use. I'm going to actually cut it out because I just wanted the rose to be in the middle of the nail. I didn't want it over the sides. So I'm going to actually cut out the rose that I want and use that instead of putting the whole foil over. That way I just get that rose in the middle of the nail, which is what I was after, with just a few little green bits around it. I didn't want any half flowers is what I mean. I didn't want any half flowers around the sides. I just wanted that central flower to be the focus. Rub that on with a tool. It's like a rubbery silicone-y type tool. It's actually a cuticle pusher, but I like to use it for rubbing foils. And it was creasing because nails are not flat, they're curved, so it's really hard sometimes to get the creases out. Work from the middle outwards is all I can say, and then keep lifting it up. You'll see I keep lifting it up and then putting it back down to try and get those creases out, and wherever I didn't rub it on, I will just rub it on again. There we go, it's transferred on, and now it's time to top it off and keep it tough. So first thing I'm going to do is use my tempering top coat on that foil. You can use base coat. Mostly I do use base coat. I don't know why I didn't on this occasion, but anyway, I think I was just too eager with the top coating. So I'm just going to flash cure that because I want the second layer of top coat to stick. Always double top coat or base coat and top coat over your artwork. It makes a big difference, and we are pretty much at the end of the video. There is some footage at the end and some photos, so I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you ever so much for coming to my channel, watching this video, spending some of your most precious time with me. Thank you, I appreciate you ever so much. If you have not done so already, could you please click that subscribe button, join the Frosty Fam, I'd love to have you. And if you've enjoyed this video, it's helped you in any way, shape or form, do click that like button. It really helps my channel, but it also lets me know that you're enjoying my content. So please do that. I'd appreciate it ever so much. Thank you. And if you feel like it, you are most welcome to leave me a comment. So this is the end result. I hope you've enjoyed this video, like I said, and that's all I've got for this time, peeps. You take care now, and I'll speak to you all again very, very soon. Bye for now.
Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know if I'll ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high.
Someday soon, I'm gonna make